Well, good morning there, Miss Kira Augustine. What's up, Deuce? Stacy's up in here this morning. Morning! All about closable thumbs. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? 50 degrees outside. We're good, right? Yay! 50 degrees. It's been so cold. All right, you guys have been killing it, man. We've had a good week. I know it's been cold out there. I know you've had to deal with a lot of changes, and we've had our struggles, right? And we're growing, and we will succeed. But I appreciate the energy and the effort you guys have been putting into all of this. We've been using the Next Up. Everybody logged in? Next Up, right? Not yet, right? We'll do that though, right? Before we get out of here. So we're using our Next Up system, which is helping the store, helping everybody communicate, and we're struggling through it a little bit as we figure it out. But we will. It'll help us grow and have some more success on the other side. Does anybody like, or should we get rid of Active Lock?
It's awesome.
It's great.
Everybody good? You guys want to keep it? You want to keep it?
I don't like it.
Don't like it that much?
No,
Zach
I
Beck?
like Active Lock.
Yeah. And that's okay. I didn't ask if you wanted to keep that one or not. If you noticed. Active Lock. Awesome, right? Zach Banks, where's he at?
Right here.
Zach Banks was talking about Active Lock. It was cold outside, and he was able to just pull the vehicle up, and he knew exactly where it was, and it was awesome, right?
Somebody looked at 5 cars yesterday. All 5 of them were.
All 5 of them were in there. There's 1,400 cars in the system right now. We still have about 150 modules to install, which they'll do next week. We're still trying to figure out exactly how the trade-ins are going to work. We're kind of running into a little bit of a hiccup there, struggling with that a little bit, but we will get it figured out, and I believe it is going to make your job and your lives a little bit easier. You guys agree? Yes. Okay, good. So we're going to go ahead and keep Active Lock. That's awesome. As I was reading and listening and trying to learn, somebody turned me on to a guy named Inky Johnson. I don't know if you've ever heard of him or not, but Inky Johnson used to play for Tennessee, which, boo, right? But he used to play college football for Tennessee, and I'm going to have him talk to us a little bit this morning. I sent him a message, tried to get him here live, but he didn't respond. So we're going to listen to this video real quick, and then we'll talk a little bit after that. Fair enough? Fair enough? Fair enough. Fair enough. All right.
Business owner now. Phenomenal testimony, story. All right, so I'm not gonna steal his thunder. Please put your hands together for my guy and what I believe is going to be the #1 speaker in the world, Mr. Inky Johnson. Put your hands together, guys.
Every day I'm chasing something different. Every day the way I operate is totally different, and it's not about the product for me as much as it is about the process. And what I mean about the process saved my life. You see, my mother had me when she was 15 years old, right? Over on the east side of Atlanta, we came up in this neighborhood by the name of Kirkwood, drug dealer on every corner, gang members in the neighborhood. 2-bedroom home, 14 people. Used to sleep on the floor. Got the opportunity to sleep in the bed one time out of the week. It was 6 of us in the bed, 3 at the foot, 3 at the head. And I came up with this dream pretty quick. I said, man, I want to go to the NFL because I had 8 uncles in that house, all 8 of which are still going in and out of prison. And so pretty quick, I said, man, I want to go to the NFL. So I went to my big cousin tomorrow one night. I said, man, listen, I want to go to the NFL, so we got to work for this thing. So the thing we're going to do every night, we're going to be patient, we're going to engage in consistent action. Every night, we're going to race light pole to light pole with no shoes. So every night, we would get out in the street, race light pole to light pole. One night, a coach came down the street. He signed me and my cousins up for organized sports, right? First time being in organized sports, we get in organized sports. The thing was, after practice, everybody would leave to go home. And I always had to sit on the bench and wait on my mother because she worked that way. And so when my mother would show up in the park, it would be about 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night. So I'm sitting there, and when my mother would pull up, she drove an old Beard Regal, hubcaps off the car, seats torn up, the car was all beat up. And she would pull up in the park 10:30 at night. I would jump off the bench. I would sprint over to my mother. I would say, Mom, if you don't mind, can you please sit back in your car and turn on your car lights? I have to do some extra drills. I have to go to the NFL. She would never have to work another day in her life. And I knew my mother was tired. And every night, my mother would sit back in that car and those car lights would hit that film. And he had a 7-year-old kid doing backpedaling drills, running sprints, running laps, chasing his dream to go to the NFL. But just beyond those car lights, I could always connect with my mother's eyes. So it made me dig a little bit deeper. It made me push myself a little bit further. It made me work a little bit harder. It created a certain level of sweat equity in what I was doing. It created a certain level of pride in what I was doing. You know why people quit? People don't have pride in what they do. You know why people stop? They're selfish and it's just about them. But when you have a bigger purpose to why you're doing what you're doing and you want to honor the sacrifices that others have made for you, it's nothing for you to keep going when you hit adversity. If every decision and choice you make is just about you, at a certain point you're going to hit something that's a lot tougher than you, that's going to make you quit because you don't have a driving force for why you do what you do. But when I got up to the University of Tennessee, it was simple. It was simple for me to give everything I had. My freshman year, I played special teams. My sophomore season, I broke the star lineup, had a really strong sophomore season. The summer heading into my junior year, I still remember the day where I was sitting in our film room. I was watching film on the California Bears. My defensive backs coach, Larry Slade, came in the room. He said, Inky, I got some good news for you. I dropped the click. I said, what is it? He said, man, you're a projected top 30 draft pick, son. He said, all you have to do is play the next 10 football games. You're an automatic multi-millionaire. I went out of the room. I called my mother and my grandmother on the three-way. I said, after this season, there will be no more struggle. I said, we would never miss another meal. I said, we would never experience another Christmas where we had to stand on the side of the curb and just be grateful. And I hung it up. First football game, I went out and played great, got an interception, shut Cal down. Second game, we played against Air Force, got late in the game, fourth quarter, guy dropped back, he threw the ball to a receiver coming out my sideline. Me and the guy went head on. As soon as I hit the guy, I felt as if every breath in my body left. Body went completely limp, fell to the ground, I blacked out. Never happened to me. When my eyes opened, I'll never forget, my teammates ran over, they said, hey, get up, let's go. I said, I can't. I said, I can't move. He said, what do you mean you can't move? You're on lockdown corner, man, we need you, let's go. I said, I know, man, but this time I can't move. I flipped my head up to the sky and said, God. I said, surely nothing is happening in this moment that can alter my life. They got me over to the hospital, they took me back, they ran CAT scans, they brought me back into my room, and all in a 15-second time frame, the doctor came running in from the opposite side. He said, hey, get in there, we gotta rush this guy back to emergency surgery, he's about to die. I said, what? He said, son, you have busted up subclavian artery in your chest, you're bleeding internally, we have to rush you back, take the main vein out of your left leg, plug it into your chest in order to save your life. When I opened my eyes from recovery, the same doctor was over me. He said, son, have some good news and some bad news for you. I said, you got some bad news for me? I have to tell him I'm about to die. I'm still alive. How bad can it get? I'm still here. He said, the good news is we saved your life. I said, thank you, sir. He said, the bad news is, Ink, you have nerve damage in your right shoulder. I said, okay, cool. He said, but son, it's a strong possibility that you probably can never play the game of football again in your life. I said, no way. I said, no disrespect to you, Doc, but I've been working for this ever since I was 7 years old. I said, no disrespect to you, Doc, but you wasn't in the park with me and my mother. And I was 7 years old and she was sitting in that Buick Regal after she got done working at Wendy's. No disrespect to you, Doc, but you didn't come up in that 2-bedroom home, 14 people sleeping on the floor. No disrespect to you, Doc, but you didn't miss those meals and stay focused and never made an excuse. I never cheated. I never cheated. Like my conscience still until this day won't let me cheat. Like I can't cheat. I can't look myself in the mirror and say, Ink, you did a good job, knowing that I cheat. I can't cheat. One of the greatest pieces of advice that my mother gave me was this: son, whenever you start, you make sure you finish. And the problem with the world today, people get involved with things, and if they don't like a certain person, if they don't like the process, if it's not what they thought it was, they quit. And what they don't understand about quitting becomes a habit that doesn't just affect you. Later on in life, when you get a wife and you get some kids or you get a family, it's going to come back to hunt you, and it will one day affect them. That is why I tell you the process is more important than the product. It's not even about the outcome for me. It's about, can you take pride in what you do as an individual, and every night when you look in the mirror, knowing that you gave everything you had to it. And we have to get to the point where we're willing to impose our will on certain things. Impose your will on it. My life totally changed. And they gave me an opportunity to stop. And most people, when you give them an opportunity to stop while they're chasing something, they take advantage of it because they feel as if, man, why did this have to happen to me? I felt as if, why not me? This is the perfect opportunity to use this to be a blessing to somebody else. And you know what? It's not even about me to be truthful. It's not even about me. Now it's about repaying the people that invested in me and saw something in me when I couldn't see it in myself. At a certain point in life, it can't just be about you. And the moment that we understand that, and every day we wake up, we understand that life is a blessing and life is a gift. And if you were to check out today, how would you want to be remembered? It's bigger than you.
So he never played another game. That was his last game of football. But what I've learned from Inky, which is a crazy name, but what I've learned from what I've learned from Inky and studying Inky, you know, he never played another game. He kind of committed to what he's doing now, as far as speaking with people, kind of sharing his experiences. And basically, I really connect with him a lot in the area where he talks about where me becomes we, basically. That's where I connect with him most. My father grew up a lot like Inky did. My father was the youngest of 13. He grew up in Dade City, Florida. They had a 2-bedroom shack, basically down in the swamplands. I remember going to visit one time. You've heard the saying, the other side of the tracks, right? Well, literally where my father lived, on one side of the street was these massive mansions, $1 million homes, and just on the other side of the train tracks was swampland. I mean, just shacks, mosquito nets. I mean, it was nasty. Rats, roaches. That's how he grew up. Youngest of 13, sleeping on the floor. I remember when I grew up, my father, you could hear him at any time. It was almost like there was a freight train running through our living room, because you could hear my father anytime he got an itch on his face. He would wipe with his hands like this, really, 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 really loud. He would catch his bottom lip, and it would just make this incredibly loud sound that you could hear all the way across the house. And I remember asking him, Dad, why do you do that? Like, why do you make this noise? Why are you constantly rubbing your face? And he said, well, son, what I learned is in my sleep, I'd have roaches and rats crawling across my face. So he had developed this tick to wipe roaches and rats off his face while he slept. So my father grew up that way. And when he was 17 years old, he lied about his age and he joined the military. And he went overseas and he traveled around the country, and he just decided to change the cycle. His brothers and sisters were dying, getting killed, going to jail. He decided to change the cycle, and he broke out of the system, and he traveled around the world, and he met my beautiful mother and blessed, birthed me and my sister, and basically brought us to Flagstaff, Arizona, where I grew up, and kept us warm. He kept us warm. My mom kept us warm. They worked their butts off. We didn't have much, but we always had heat. And I always had a bed to sleep in. My father did that, man. And when he died, what I had given back to my father, because all I was thinking about was me and not we. When my father died at 52 years old, he just never woke up on a Sunday afternoon, laid down to take a nap. But when he died, I was a bum. I was a freaking bum. Like literally. Had been sleeping on buses, been homeless, had thought that I was a victim in this world and didn't give a shit about anybody but myself, and that's what I had paid back to my father and my mother, who had worked all those hours and put in all that time and broke the cycle to get me out of that. And I was putting myself right back there. Crazy, man. So as I'm studying Inky and I'm connecting with that and I'm thinking, okay, great, you know, how can we use this at the dealership? How can we learn and make us better? And those were the main words that I thought about. You know, when you spell it, and I'm not really good at this, you know, so deal with me here. But if you take me, and you turn it upside down, which again, I'm not an artist, okay? So deal with me. But if you take me, you turn it upside down, it becomes we. And when me becomes we, when you start to realize that when your alarm clock goes off in the morning and you're tired and you don't want to wake up, when your mindset starts to change from, well, I don't want to wake up, me personally, I don't want to do it, but we collectively need me to. John Hinkson was a perfect example. He understood the difference between we and between me. John Hinkson used to show up here at the dealership at 7 o'clock in the morning because he knew that we needed to make sure our shit was in order. Our paperwork was where it needed to be. Everything was ready and in place so that we collectively as a team could make a difference in people's lives selling them cars. He understood that it was we. It was never me. John, you can talk to him anytime. He's one of the most humble people I know. And he sold 50 plus cars a month, 500 cars in his first year on the floor because he understood. He worked in the factory. He did the grind. He lived the me life. He understood that it's a we. And a lot of us in this dealership, we're starting to get it, and I feel it more and more. I saw it yesterday, or not yesterday, but I saw it the other day with our boy Luke. I saw you guys do this right here. It's loud. You know, but if you didn't see this already, this young boy, 3-year-old young boy, man, he had to have his kidney removed, he had a cancerous tumor on it, had to have his kidney removed, had to go through chemo, had to fight through all that. His parents had to fight for him. They're in here buying a car from us. He's got his little shirt, man, that he beat chemo. He's the cutest little kid ever. It's just awesome. JV pops up, says, man, we got to get this kid something. We got to give him a toy. His parents are buying a car. We need to buy him a car, right? So Javen gathers up a bunch of people here at Dane Cummins, and they all throw in some money. We run over to the freaking Walmart, and we get this kid a little remote control car. I mean, come on, man. It's one of the most beautiful things that I ever experienced. It's something that we continue to experience here. It's so cool. Pure joy. So they bought him this little remote control car right here. You can see the joy in his eyes. He played with it. His parents bought a car. They love us. The Weaver family, they're awesome. I reached out to them, talked to the Weaver family, asked them. I said, is it okay if we take Luke's strength and we just share it with people? You know, just share it with everybody and let them know that this is the reason for the season. And what we're doing is so much bigger than me. That it's all we. When you think like that, when you can get your mentality right, you start to understand that being average or underperforming or doing anything below your ability every single day is such a selfish choice. Such a selfish choice. Like Inky said in there, he said, you know, what you do today is setting the stage for tomorrow, right? If you quit now and you get in the habit of quitting, or if you're average now and get in the habit of being average, then what are you going to have to offer for your wife and for your kids and for your grandkids and for your future? We got to set the stage now, man. We got to set it now. We got to remember that it's not about me, it's about we. And when you think like we, you start to think about all the people that made all these sacrifices to put us in this position that we are in right now, to give us the opportunity that we have right now to make a difference in people's lives. We talk about it all the time, right? Make them feel special, make them feel important, make them feel like they're the only one. Let me give you an example. If you guys think these people don't care, let me show you something. Let me show you this right here. Jim Matthews was my sales rep. He was fantastic. I have always hated buying cars, and I've always let my husband do it. This time I decided to go get my new Tahoe with him. They were extremely busy, but Jim treated me as if I was the only one. Isn't that incredible? He showed me all my new features and how they worked, and even helped entertain the kids while we worked out the details. Great place, great people. Definitely bragging about these people. Jim Matthews, you in here? Hey, it's back there in the back. Dude, we talk about it, we show it out there, and they regurgitate it right there in review, word for word. It made me feel like I was the only one. We owe it to every single customer to treat them that way. We owe it to each other. We have to treat each other that way. We have to do everything that we can with the opportunity that we have in front of us right now. We have to remember that it is we. It is not me. As we add processes and we change and we struggle and we grow and we succeed and we do all of these things, and I know sometimes it's frustrating, sometimes we're tired, and sometimes we maybe want to just check out a little bit, kind of hide over in the corner. Maybe it's cold, we don't want to go outside and grab that up, or maybe we're afraid that we're going to have to grab the jump box, we're going to have to do this, or we just don't want to kind of deal with it. Me personally don't want to. We got to think about the we, man. We got to think about the we, and we got to think about the mission. I am on a mission to eradicate the stigmas associated with the car business. We can do that by hiring great people, right? Great people, offering great service in a great place. And on top of it, we'll go ahead and add on some great deals, because that's what we do. We happen to sell cars. That's a byproduct of everything else we're doing in this dealership. As I'm thinking about this and planning this meeting, and I'm on my way to work this morning, we get a text message from the owner of the dealership. He just sends out a thank you to all the managers for all the hard work that they do, all the time that they put in. He mentions in there that there are times where he's maybe down and we don't even see it and we don't even know it, but we lift him up. We lift up the owner of the company. He's such a humble human being. He's created all this. He's dedicated his life to making sure that we have every opportunity in front of us and that we can make a difference. Make a difference in this industry and with every person we come in contact with. So please continue to join me on this mission. Let's eradicate the stigmas associated with the car business. Let's remember that it's about we and it's never about me. I don't know the next time Luke's going to come in or somebody like Luke. I personally am going to make sure that I am in a position to be able to help anybody that comes my way. My kids will have heat. My kids will have a bed to sleep in. I will make my Father proud. I know He's watching down on me. I didn't have that commitment a while ago. I have it now. I'd love if you guys would join me. Let's go out there and take on the world. All right? Let's go. Let's get to work. Jacob, yes, my man. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Hey, thanks for tuning in, guys. Mr. Jim Brooks. George, I can't wait for you to join us either, George. I'm so glad we got that cleared up and that you're going to be in here. You guys, thanks for tuning in. Please, if you ever, Thanks, Todd. If you're ever, in the need, Josh Cummins, let's do good work. That's right, Mr. Cummins. If you're ever, in need, you need a car, we do happen to sell cars here too. I know sometimes we talk about some other things, but Dan Cummins, Chevrolet.com, go ahead and jump on the website. We've got tons of inventory. You can read all about us. We're just out here trying to make a difference, man, trying to eradicate the stigmas associated with the car business. We hire great people. We're a great place, and we'll give you a great deal. So please share this with everybody. Let everybody know that we're here. Appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you guys next Saturday. Have a wonderful weekend.